Welcome fellow samurais, let's raise our swords and battle through these yokais and corrupted humans. There is a feeling that I can't remember where I was. But if memory serves me right, it should come back to me, right? However, I must address the elephant in the room. NIOH has been announced as a PS3 title in 2005, resulting in 12 years of development. Honestly, suffering through this PS3 exclusive game was worth the wait. My first encounter with NIOH had many challenges, but it hasn't stolen the game's fun and excitement. Even though not only understanding the challenges that comes with playing as a archer or a mage on other games prior to NIOH. It has different variations of weapons, leading to different fighting styles while you play the game. The weapons will include sword, double swords, spear, axe, kusarigama, odachi, tonfus. Oh wait, something is missing. A trusty weapon, fist, because all of your weapons have been removed on the beginning of the game as you have been captured. As for your range options, bow, rifle, and a hand cannon. Through my experience with NIOH, I had many challenges with specific enemies, in which includes Onibu, Karakasa Umbrella, Sentry, Raven Tengu, Fox Spirit, Magatsu Warrior, Nu, Unibosu, Ogros, and White Tiger. A recommendable guardian spirit is Suzaku, as the living weapon activates to prevent death. A very similar mechanism as Mario's mushrooms and Sonic's rings. There are other range options that haven't been mentioned, such as the Omnium Magic, Ninjutsu, and items that can be purchased from the blacksmith or collected by defeated enemies. They can have effects such as physical, water, lightning, wind, earth, fire, poison, and paralysis. Some talismans are used for damage and defense boost, and other reduces the enemy's defense and speed. For example, my personal favorite, weakness and sloth. These talismans can be used on faster enemies for a better experience as a ranged player. Now let's talk about the blacksmith service, such as buy and sell, allowing trade of equipment and items. Usually, we will collect a great amount of sellable items and equipment from missions. However, I would personally suggest to stock up on arrows, bullets, and cannonballs. Forge is separated in 3 sections: weapon, armor, and tools, that require items collected from missions or disassembled items that creates a debate between selling items or disassembling. At least that's the case initially, but it becomes more flexible after the 2nd and 3rd region. Tools will be your best friend when it comes to crafting resourceful items, such as smithing items or quest items. A good example would be a Syllabar ingots, as it allows you to store Emerita. But for fighting enemies, I would recommend Spirit Stone, because it prolongs your living weapon duration and time required to reactivate. As for reforging, allows equipment and armor set customization, and so matching allows the player to select the equipment and consume the level of another, also affecting the plus value of the equipment selected. Additionally, you will be charged more if the item does not match. Another important information is that you either pay with gold or patronage. Visual character customization includes refashion of weapon and armors, with other customizations such as hair and transformation. Transformation can be found on the Hidden Tea House. Now let me take you to a tour within the Hidden Tea House, where you will be able to select a clan to follow, increasing one of your status, and have battle clans, in which the way to rank up on the battle clan is pretty much to continue to play the game. Also, a new currency will be introduced called Glory that will allow you to purchase items that include transformation items that are the skins you can use throughout the game. And which leads to the next topic. The Abyss is a floor climbing mission that has 5 areas to explore. One is where the boss is, called the Terra Firma. The other 4 are areas you can enter to remove the debuffs. However, some maps you may get lucky and enter treasure rooms instead of areas that you have to battle your way through to meet the White Kotama. Throughout the game, you can fight falling players and collect their equipment, including a Choco Cup that will be used to request assistance from other players, but especially against Otani Ochitsuku. He may or may not made me understand what it meant to be a revenant inside a bloody grave. I have envied all of the bosses that had the half yokai form, but Otani Yoshitsuku's speed was hyper-caffeinated. It has been 7 years I wanted to use the half yokai form, and surprisingly enough, it has been added to the next game. Nioh 2 has kept its beautiful visuals and added on new features. I would like to point out that I was extremely happy about the half yokai form. I wish I recorded how happy I was. But there is one setback regarding the yokai shift, as that form is weaker than previously, and the soul stone is not as effective as the previous game. For Nioh 2, your yokai shift will have 3 different forms: Brute, Feral, and Phantom. Another ability that has been added is called Soul Core. This ability will allow you to collect yokai souls and mortal souls, with every ability having its own cost. Different from the first game, we get different types of yokais, such as friendly yokais called Scampus and neutral yokais called Mujina. Mujina usually copy chests around the map. There are other neutral yokais, such as Tsutama and Kotama. The reason why I separate them into friendly and neutral yokais is because one helps you defeat enemies, and the other requires rescue, such as Kotama, or exchange items such as Tsutama. But be careful when trading items, as the traded item does not have the plus value. I want to come clean about something. At first I thought a Gaki was a dweller. By changing from a digger to big brain yokai, a bold assumption, as we no longer have trims in the blacksmith, but that feature was added on the character customization in your HUD that has 3 different designs: Stranger, Samurai, and Hermit. I know it sounds like we're following the rule of 3, but the yokai ability has 3 spaces and a defense ability of the selected yokai shift. Now, returning to blacksmith on the changes compared to Nioh, the soul matching requirement has changed, as equipment must match the rarity type. That is an exception of divine and ethereal. Reforging has changed to temper, and the other type of reforging from the first game has been removed, at least from my experience. We also get new weapons, such as Patches, Switchglaive, Split Staff, and Fist is back. However, for this time you get some gloves and more combos to fight. Just like the other weapons, remodel has been added. For armor, it's changing status requirement, or making your armor heavier, and equipment is the status ranking D to A. Another new feature is in the hidden tea house, called hanging scroll text, that will be allowed to be placed in your HUD, and tea utensil that is used to increase the player's status. An interesting fact is that the tea house master will break the tea utensil if it holds no value, or he will return the utensil, displaying which rarity and level it has. The tea utensil can be used to gain glory by donating it to your clan, as this feature hasn't changed from Nioh. Moving away from the hidden tea shop, we can go into the leveling section of your character build. Another feature has been added called Stone of Penance. This feature will allow you to improve your accessories by level and plus value. Now let us come back to the beginning of the game, as we are introduced to an area called the Intrum, a place where your yokai shift training will happen. And in the future of the game is the place that will unlock new missions related to enemies you already defeated. Through your gameplay, there is a picture scroll mission that can be unlocked by battling and defeating Revenant with White Aura, and equipable after completing the mission with random status. After your first completion, the underworld will be unlocked to you to explore. This place mechanism is quite similar to the Abyss. However, all the Kotama are spread around a single map. They will give you buffs instead of removing the debuffs. Throughout your missions, the player will be faced with a grey zone called the Demon Realm that has positive effect on the enemies and negative effect on the player, including summoning the Revenant on its yokai shift. To conclude, both of these games have been neck to neck, but we must find a winner. Wait, hold on, what's going on? It seems like Juroguma has some biases regarding the first game, but unfortunately when it comes to the game that I prefer, it would be Nioh 2. Leave some comments below about your experiences with Nioh, and potential topics you would like me to cover in the future. I would love to hear it. Thanks for watching. I hope you have a wonderful day ahead.